Hospital chaplain and Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Rick Lee James released a new single inspired by years of walking hospital hallways, exploring God's grace for imperfect people. Let's hear some of his new song, Heaven is Full of Criminals.
Even preachers and gossips who whisper in pews, and Sunday school saints who know all the rules are welcome to come and to feast with the Son. 'Cause God's mercy makes room for every last one. But there are no perfect people allowed. Heaven is full of criminals.
And that was Heaven is Full of Criminals, which has now been streamed well over 13,000 streams since its release. And joining us now from Springfield, Ohio, is Rick Lee James. Rick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back with you again. Thanks for having me.
So the title's intriguing, maybe a little bit self-explanatory as well, too. But tell us a little bit about the song. How's it doing? Are people receiving it well, I guess?
Yeah, I have been so pleased with people's gracious comments. The wonderful thing about living in the time we do is a lot of times people can, in real time, send you messages through social media and different places and letting you know how much they appreciate the song. I even had, just this morning before we recorded, I saw that another radio station had added it, and it just seems like the comments have been very good, and it's been opening up some good conversation. The title, as you said, I think is intriguing to people, and so people have listened, and it was a collaboration with some friends to make the song, and so I'm just so glad that it's being well received and that it gives us a chance to talk about the mercy of our Lord who loves us so much.
And I noticed in the notes I was looking at, you're an independent artist. So what does that mean? You're not signed to a particular label? What does that mean to be an independent artist, and what are some of the challenges that come along with that?
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I make music on my own. I publish it on my own. Years ago, I did some music with other publishers, and I have always loved that and always welcomed the chance to do that. But I find there's so much freedom in recording my own music and being able to sort of release it on my own terms. And it's given me a lot of freedom. There are challenges, though, too, because my day job, even where I am right now, I'm recording from the hospital where I work as a chaplain. And they were kind enough to let me use the telepresence room today. There I am. And it's really wonderful to do chaplaincy work, though, because it does help inform the writing that I'm doing. And a lot of people whose stories I encounter, they inspire me in the writing of songs. And I don't know that Heaven is Full of Criminals might be a song that just any record label might want to put out on radio exactly, and it might have some challenging conversations along the way. But for me, it's been wonderful to be able to make music that way and to be able to release it when I'm able to, and not to be pressured by maybe some deadlines. The other challenges that come up with are having enough time to write and record. But I am loving doing what I'm doing, both as a singer and songwriter and as in my work as a hospital chaplain.
That's great. And, I'm sure that working with those, not just patients, but their families, healthcare workers, they have so many stories, and I'm sure that they inspire you in some way, not just in your music, but just in your own faith life. Do you think that experience really is what helps the message of grace and redemption and hope, that those experiences of working in a hospital is what's helping to resonate with listeners right now, that they need to hear this?
I think so. I often meet people along the way who struggle with wondering, does God love me? Have I done too much that God can't forgive me, that I would be unwelcomed at the table of the Lord? And so there's been many wonderful conversations I've had. And one of the lines from the song that you even played on the show today that said, there are no perfect people allowed. I sometimes will say to people when they're asking me about where they are in their relationship with God, and if they've gone too far away, I'll remind them that I've never met a perfect person. There's only one. The Lord who loves us so much is the only perfect one I know of. But I also know that I've never met a person who God does not love with an everlasting love. And so some of these conversations, they've been very real. And they're even conversations for myself, too. Part of the song is dealing with maybe if God even welcomes criminals and lunatics and liars and thieves
Hmm.
to come and be changed, then maybe there's mercy for me as well. And I know sometimes I can be my own worst critic, and I have found that to be true of people I encounter. It seems like all of us judge ourselves so much worse than we ever would other people. So I would definitely say that the stories in hospital rooms and hallways have influenced the writing of songs like this one.
So, being a singer-songwriter, I guess, has opened up lots of doors for you, especially meeting people in the industry. I'm not going to pretend I know who he is, but Phil Keaggy, someone who worked with you on the song. He's two-time Grammy nominated. What is collaboration like with people who really have experiences of success in the music industry?
For me, it has been very enriching. They often tell you don't meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed. But in my case, the people that I've had an opportunity to work with, like Phil, they have really enriched my journey. Phil is just somebody that is filled with so much grace. And the fact that he would play on my song, he's been sort of a guitar hero of mine and many other people for many, many years. He's been making wonderful music. And not only is he just an incredibly talented person, which is obvious if you ever get to see him play, and I do recommend checking out his music. He's so prolific, but he's such an encourager. He really reminds me of this. This must be a lot what Jesus is like when I
Mm.
speak with someone like Phil, the way that he is so in love with the Lord and with God's people. And that has been my experience so many times with working with people in the music industry. There are so many wonderful souls. There's a lot of bad news in the world, but the good news is a lot of the heroes we get to meet. Maybe I just have good heroes, but that they've always been really good experiences for me to get to work with amazing people.
That's great. Well, I know you're doing so many things. You're singer-songwriter, hospital chaplaincy, husband and father, but you also got a couple of podcasts as well, too. Before I let you go, just briefly, if you could tell me what those podcasts are and where people can find them.
Yes, thank you so much. One of them is called Voices in My Head, where usually I welcome guests on. I try to put the show out weekly. Sometimes it's a little more like every 2 weeks, but I have some wonderful guests on that show. We're over 600 episodes now with people like authors and entertainers and different walks of life, ministers that come on to talk, and we have faith-filled conversations. The other one is a new one that I'm really proud of and I'm enjoying with a theologian friend of mine named David Dalt. It's called Truth, Justice, and the Way, Superman and Spirituality. And we use stories like the stories of characters like Superman, which is having a moment in pop culture right now, to talk about the ways that spirituality is expressed and often is expressed in ways that are secular. And we just keep finding God all over the place. So I've been having some wonderful conversations on both of those shows. So thank you so much for asking about those podcasts.
Oh, great. Well, I know you have a Christmas song coming up. We're going to have to wait until we get closer to Christmas to have you back on to tell us a little bit about that. I want to direct our viewers to rickleyjames.com for your website where they can find out all of this stuff. Rick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Such a pleasure. God bless you.
Well, coming up next, I'll be back with the latest news, and Tina Mary, Josie's Director of Mission Advancement for Shalom World, inspiring families to grow in their Catholic faith. She'll be here to talk to us about that. More CFN Live right after the break.